Hi class. Today we end Module 3 at 11:59 p.m. Module 4 opens up. What does this tell us? A couple of things, really. It tells us that we have completed 3/4 of the class, and more importantly, now we can see the finish line. So let's take a moment to look at what the finish line looks like. The finish line opens with week 12, April the 12th through April the 18th. During this week, we will focus our attention on sex and gender. We will look at the social construction of gender, gender socialization, and patterns of gender inequality. Then, guess what? We have spring break. Between April the 19th to April the 30th, we'll be out on spring break. There'll be no post required. There'll be no quizzes required. So during this time, you're absolutely free and clear of doing posts or quizzes. I want you to enjoy your spring break, be safe, whatever you do, and once you return, that places us in week 13. Week 13 opens May the 1st. Mark your calendars. We come back May the 1st. And week 13 ends May the 7th. Week 13, we will look at race and ethnicity. In looking at race and ethnicity, we will look at cultural diversity. We will look at patterns of intergroup relationships. We will also look at minority groups here in the United States. And guys, voila, that brings us to week 14. Week 14 happens to be the final week of discussions, the final week of quizzes. Well, of course, there's the final exam, but I'm talking about the weekly quizzes. So in week 14 opens on May the 8th and it closes on May the 14th. Please pay attention to the dates. During week 14, we'll take a look at the family. We look at family structure. We look at marriage and divorce, different family types, and we will close off by looking at the future of American families. And of course, you know what happens in week 15. Week 15 opens up to the final exam. I want to remind you that the tutoring center is open. The Tutoring Center is a very, very excellent resource for those of you who are struggling in this class. I would strongly suggest if you find yourself struggling, please make use of the Tutoring Center. They're happy to assist you, and you want to use this opportunity that's available to you to help you through this class. Now, one of the things that you would have noticed from day one, I shared with you that there'll be bonus points accorded at the end of the semester. The bonus points are not included in the Blackboard grading system. So, whatever grade you have in Blackboard, you can look at this bonus chart and see how many points you will amass toward the points that you already have. If you take a closer look at the chart, you will notice that points are recorded based on attendance in class. Attendance in class is based on your participation in discussions and your completing the weekly quizzes. So, just very quickly, if you have never missed a quiz, if you have never missed a discussion, then automatically you would get 100 bonus points. If you've missed one quiz, if you've missed one discussion, then you will get 75 points, and so on. Now, I've gotten a couple of emails And I see that some are struggling more than others. I know that there's some students that are doing remarkably well. And so, right here, this does not apply to you. But for students who have struggled throughout the semester and continue to struggle, I have included an extra credit opportunity. This extra credit opportunity includes 5 quizzes. These 5 quizzes are worth 20 points apiece for up to a total of 100 points. This is an optional activity, and because it's an optional activity, I want you to listen closely. Because it's an optional activity, it will not be reopened for any reason. Once it closes, you have one opportunity to do this quiz. In the past, I know during the semester, you've had multiple opportunities to do your quizzes. So if you did a quiz, you got a low score, you could redo it again. Unfortunately, here, again, because it's an optional activity, you will have one opportunity to do the quiz and one opportunity only. So therefore, I suggest when you're doing this quiz, you want to make sure that you're on a device that your internet will be stable. You want to make sure that you've set aside time to do the quiz or quizzes if you decide to do them all, or if you decide to do more than one, right? But you want to make a dedicated space, dedicated time. Make sure that you're on a reliable technological advice so that once you start the quiz, you can complete it. And of course, you want to have your textbook handy, all right? Because this quiz is taken directly from the textbook.